Good morning, everyone. I hope everything is okay with you. Um, Today we have a new lesson, Lesson 1, Unit 7. So the title of the unit is Entertainment. Entertainment. So the title of the lesson is Making and Responding to Suggestions. So we're going to learn how to make suggestions. Suggestions. So how to make a suggestion and how to respond. Okay? So I have already written you the lesson. Today we're going to correct the exercises I have sent you, of course. So we're going to work according to this dialogue between Mike and Fred. As you can see, Mike. Hi, Fred. This is Mike. What are you doing now? Fred. Hello, Mike. I'm just listening to music at home. I'm just listening to music at home. Good. Shall we go out for a cup of coffee? I feel bored. I feel bored. Fred. It's not a good idea. I hate sitting in a cafe. Let's go to the movies to see a film instead. Let's go to the movies. Movies means cinema. To see a film instead. Mike, the movies? I don't like that. It's boring. It's boring. Fred, all right then. Why don't we go out for a walk? Why don't we go out for a walk? Mike, that sounds good. At least we can breathe some fresh air. At least we can breathe some fresh air. Okay? So I'm going to show you the correction. So exercise number 1. So are these sentences true or false? And we're going to justify our answers, of course. So question number 1. Fred is watching TV at home. Fred is watching TV at home. So as you can see in the dialogue, hi Fred, this is Mike. What are you doing now? Fred, hello Mike, I'm just listening to music. Okay, listening to music. So the sentence says Fred is watching TV at home, so it's false. So the justification is he's listening to music. So he's not watching TV, as the sentence says, but he's listening to music. Number 2, Mike feels excited. Excited means very happy. Okay, very happy. So look at here. Mike, good. Shall we go out for a cup of coffee? I feel bored. Bored. Okay? He doesn't feel good. He feels bored. So, the answer here is false. He is bored, not excited. Okay? So, bored is the opposite of excited. Okay? Good. Question number 3. Fred doesn't like going to cafes. Fred doesn't like going to cafes. So let's check in the dialogue. So when Mike says, shall we go out for a cup of coffee? I feel bored. Fred says, it's not a good idea. I hate sitting in a cafe. I hate, which means I don't like. I don't like sitting in a cafe. So the answer is true. So my justification is I hate sitting in a cafe. So this is what Fred says in the dialogue. I hate, which means I don't like. I don't like sitting in a cafe. Okay? Question number 4. Mike likes the idea of going out for a walk. Mike likes the idea of going out for a walk. So let's check. So he says, look at Fred here. All right then, why don't we go out for a walk? So Fred suggests to Mike to go out for a walk. So Mike says, that sounds good. At least we can breathe some fresh air. At least, as you can see here. So this is the Arabic translation of the phrase, at least. we can breathe some fresh air, which means that Mike likes going out. So the answer here is true. That sounds good. That sounds good, which means Mike likes the idea of going out. Okay, this is concerning exercise number 1. So now let's move on to exercise number 2. So the exercise says fill in the chart from the dialogue. So we are going to complete the chart from the dialogue here. So this is the correction. Making suggestion. So how do we make suggestion? How do I suggest to my friend something? So when I suggest something to my friend, so he either accepts or he refuses, which means he doesn't like it. So the expressions that we use to make suggestions are, number 1, shall we? Shall we? So if you want to suggest to your friend something, you say, shall we go out for a cup of coffee? So this is an example. So this is the expression of suggestion. So shall we? Shall I, for example, you can say shall I or shall we? Shall we go out for a cup of coffee? So if your friend accepts, for example, he says that sounds good, which means he likes the idea, he accepts it. If he refuses, he says it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. Okay? Another way you can use in order to make suggestion is let's go to the movies to see a film. So you suggest using the expression let's go to the movies to see a film. If your friend accepts, he says also that's a good idea. That's a good idea. But if he refuses, he can say also I don't like that. Okay? So we have got 2 ways in which you can use if you want to refuse. And you can use these expressions also to accept a suggestion. We have other ways to express or to make suggestion. For example, we have here, why don't we go out for a walk? So in the dialogue here we have, why don't we go out for a walk? So this is an expression of suggestion. Okay, suggestion. Why don't we go out for a walk? Okay, so you can have other expressions. So I just mentioned 2 expressions here. The first one, that sounds good, and the second, that's a good idea. Okay, another expression you can use to make suggestion is how about. How about. For example, you can say how about going out, for example. Okay, so notice the difference. Why don't we go out? How about going out? So you can have the same answers as here or as here. Okay, good. So if you want to suggest to your friend something, you use these expressions. I gave here 4 expressions. Shall we? Let's go. Why don't? How about? So these expressions are used to make suggestions. All right. So let's move on to exercise number 3. As you can see here, what do you suggest in these situations? What do you suggest in these situations? So I've got here 2 different types of situations. Situation 1, it's Sunday afternoon. So let's suppose that today is Sunday afternoon. Liverpool is a football team. Liverpool is playing against Manchester United at 7:45 p.m. 7:45 p.m. So what do you suggest to your friend? So here, shall we go to a cafe to watch Liverpool against Manchester United? Shall we go to a cafe? So you suggest to your friend to go to a cafe. Why? To watch the match. So this is the way you can say it. Shall we go to a cafe to watch Liverpool against Manchester United? And of course I gave you the sign here, like, which means your friend likes the idea. So he accepts it. Okay, he accepts it. So he says that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Situation number 2. Here we have, you are on holiday. You are on holiday, which means there is no school, no work. And tomorrow will be very hot. So the weather will be very hot tomorrow. So what do you suggest to your friend according to this situation? So we said here, how about going to the beach? The beach means the sea, okay, where you swim. How about going to the beach tomorrow? And of course I gave you the sign dislike here, which means your friend doesn't like the idea. So your friend says, I don't like swimming. I don't like swimming. So he refuses your suggestion. Okay? So that's the end of the lesson. Thanks for watching. I hope it will be interesting to you. Okay? So keep in touch. If you have got some questions, I'm listening to you. Thank you very much. Have a nice time.